سلطانا نصيرا سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you so much. I just had this opportunity to speak about entrepreneurship. The topic today that Huda has chosen alongside the execs of the Saudi society is in terms of entrepreneurship, and especially our ACF, the Alssadaqaat, Community Finance Women Entrepreneurship Program. And I'll tell you why it became important and why we are doing it. So I'll just go to a little bit of our background as to what I'm going to be sharing. So I'll look at some of the landscape, some of the challenge that we have, the barriers that we are having, and what could be the solution in terms of entrepreneurship, how does it work, and the transformation for the Alssadaqaat community finance, very innovative model. And I'm sure we will have some Q&A at the end of the session. I'm just thinking that I will be taking about 20 minutes or around that time for the presentation, and then perhaps we can open up for the questions, because there are some things which perhaps have not covered in my presentation, but it will help us to give us the opportunity to cover it. So this is roughly the agenda, but again, if there's any questions, we'll be taking it in the later. Okay, so the reason for ACF, but let's look at the landscape. The landscape is that, or the issue or the challenges that we call it, that majority of you will inshallah finish your education, whether it be at a graduate level or a postgraduate level, or even a PhD level. And each of you have got some vision in your mind, a dream in your mind, and that would be to generally find a job in the jurisdiction of what education you have done. So basically, it's going to be finding a job in the best organization, whether it be a public organization, a government organization, a private organization. And this is how the university sort of years will finish and a practical years of life will begin. The question I always have with this issue is that majority of the people hopefully will get the job, but a lot of the people will not be able to get the job of their own kind or liking or what you had imagined or what you would have thought about. So what are the options? Either to remain unemployed or to be self-employed or look at entrepreneurship. So these are the only two options that you will have, apart from obviously educating yourself further or changing the whole degree program or some practical programs, what you will have. So this is the first issue that we are looking for. So I hope nobody wants to stay unemployed, but if you're going to be employed, then there are two areas that we need to think about. So because of the few and very limited options, either you become an entrepreneur and start your own business idea, or think about, or you have been thinking about a business idea, but it is time to put it in practice now and bring it to reality. Or again, entrepreneurship or self-employment, more or less, these are the same things. But let's talk about entrepreneurship, okay? So what is entrepreneurship? We hear a lot about entrepreneurship, that's something which is maybe very much trended, or the public the governments and public organizations, they're encouraging. So I've just put up a little bit of a definition for you. And these are ordinary people like you and me. It's entrepreneurs. We've got very, very big names, globally. Even in your country, there are a number of very huge, big entrepreneurs. Globally, there are in Europe, in US, in Middle East, and Far East. So these are ordinary people like you and me. They have the passion, they have the motivation and the determination to turn ideas into real products and services. And this is basically, they are fulfilling a need. There's a lots of people, you and me, we are thinking that wouldn't it be better that if we can do something which can improve the lives of the people, which can bring a new product, which can bring a new service. So all these business ideas, they are there. So they have passion, they have motivation and determination to turn ideas into reality. Okay, so this is something as far as a very general overview of entrepreneurs. So what do they do? What they do is very important. And that's why I encourage to all you as young people finishing graduation, even in your families, if there is siblings or aunts, uncles, whatever, entrepreneurship. Okay, so what do they do? So as I said, they are very important for the social change, the economic change, and the impact they have to have. So these entrepreneurs, they can change the way we live and work. Okay, so for example, there is an invention, like we've got a platform, a digital platform, which could be either communicating or delivery, or it is giving data or whatever. It could be a product or service. The aeroplanes were invented, the telephone was invented, the electricity was invented. So these were all entrepreneurs at that time. They did not have this idea that it is going to be so big, but they have started with a small step, but now they can change the lives of the people. So if successful, these innovations, they improve the standards of living, and in addition, create wealth with their entrepreneur ventures. They also create jobs and conditions for a prosperous society. So if you will see anywhere, there are services like beautician services, hairdressing services, physiotherapy, language therapy, medical services, pharmacies, inventions for eating habits, for restaurants. I mean, you name it, each and every one of them is doing some kind of a product or service. Okay, so they really change the way we work and live. But then starting a business or starting an enterprise is always a challenge. At any age, gender, qualification, whatever. So there is obviously quite a challenge to start a business. And this is why I find this very interesting challenge. And this is why one of the reasons for starting ACF was that if people are unemployed or they have a passion or a motivation, where do they go? What kind of support they can do? And women particularly face more challenges than others, because it's family pressures, it's commitments at home, it's commitments, with the wider family. Maybe you're professional, you have work responsibilities. So there's a lots of multiple things more than men to be able to face these challenges. But still, I feel that the women are best placed to become entrepreneurs because they have such a huge, by nature, they have a huge capacity of multitasking. You are managing every day. You are making decisions every day. You are bringing people together, the families together, the siblings together, the parents, the families, the wider family, the neighborhood, All of these kinds of things, and these are very much inborn qualities which an entrepreneur has. You are making decisions, you are taking risks, you are doing things. So I always feel that this is something, a challenge, which they do. But again, they are practicing every day. So they do face challenges in terms of starting the business and running this business. So I'm just going to cover very quickly few of the areas which we feel will be very important. So the general challenges our research has shown, because I've been working in this sector quite some time now. And firstly, it's the business idea. It lacks the clarity. Okay, there are so many multiple ideas that you may think about, but which one to choose? So we come across a lot of women courses that we are doing and developing and working with them. The first thing is about the clarity. The second thing at times, because obviously business requires a certain bit of self-confidence. So sometimes women are a little bit not very sure because how this is going to go and all these impact on the self-confidence. Then most important, there's lack of support. There is lack of support sometimes at the family level, sometimes at the friends level, sometimes at the wider society level, and also there's lack of support in terms of having that network that you need to be able to do that. Like, for example, this the Saudi Society network or platform is a wonderful platform where people can come and talk about and think about how things are going, But apart from these challenges, there are financial challenges as well. Okay, so we know that there's all these other softer challenges, but there are major challenges which women are facing. And the first one, at times, majority of the times, not everyone has got lack of personal capital. Some women or some people are privileged, so they have that support, that family support or capital, personal capital, maybe through inheritance or an aunt or uncle or parents have agreed that, okay, they will support that business. But if they are not having that, then they are going to get some money. And it's the safety net, which is always at the back of their mind. And another thing which we also found from a woman perspective is they are fearing debt. So they don't want to get into debt. They want to, if they have taken money from someone, they want to pay it off very quickly. Okay, so this is very natural. And in our culture, for example, in the Middle East and Southeast Asia and Far East, and even here in Europe and US, the debt is very important that it is returned and returned very quickly. So fearing debt also is sometimes a barrier and a challenge to overcome. So in short, when we are looking at soft barriers, we're talking about education, training, skills, attitudinal, motivational, operational, and strategic challenges. So these are the soft barriers. But the hard barriers are financial assistance and getting premises for maybe a factory premises or a garage or whatever, is required in terms of developing that. But access to finance remains the key area or the key barrier to start the micro, small, and medium enterprise. So that's where there was my research, that this is where the landscape is, that where the problem is. So generally, when we are talking about modes of finance, as I was saying earlier on, people go to banks, they can get personal loans, overdrafts, they can use credit cards, they can use, help from the family and friends. But all of these, generally, apart from the family and friends, generally are interest-based and debt-based instruments. So if you borrow for money from the finance, from the bank, generally they will charge an interest. If you pay or money from credit card, they will charge you an interest. Any other loans that you're taking, personal loans, overdrafts, they will all be charged interest. Obviously, the families, they won't be, but they would want that return as well. So generally, this is the real issue in trust, okay? So as I said, the real issue is debt, which is very important, that people don't want to get into debt. Then they look at the interest rates. But more importantly, what I also saw was the eligibility criteria. And by that, what I mean is that there is a certain bit of criteria that people are wanting to add on to, because if we are going to the bank, they would like to see our credit history, they would like to see so many other things before they can give us the money. Okay, so lots of the eligibility criteria, because people who are excluded, they normally have to, not be able to get the money for that. So when I was looking at this whole landscape, I was also looking at the Islamic finance side of things. And this is where my inspiration was, that if I can understand, this is the problem, as I explained to you, this is the issue. So I was looking at the solutions, okay? So one of the solutions that I found was during my interest in looking for a solution was the value proposition of Islamic finance. And this is very interesting because we all talk about the issues, the poverty level, the social and inequality, that social and economic inequality, the SDGs, the Millennium Goals, and now they are the Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations. But the solution, I feel, is very much in the value proposition of Islamic finance. So let's just very quickly look at this value proposition. So when I look at that value proposition, the first thing I want to look at is that what is the ethical framework of Islamic finance? Is it capable enough to do what we want it to do? So the first thing that we find in our ethical framework is stewardship. Khalifatul Ard. When we were sent to this world, we were made as trustees from an Islamic perspective, from our deen perspective. We are the trustees of the resources that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. So it is our health, our mental health, our physical health, our stature, our faculty of thinking, our abilities, our opportunities, our networks that we have got. So all of these are as trustees. We don't possess them. We don't own them. We use them. We are given to them. Each of you has got a wonderful talent. Each of you has got wonderful privilege to be able to get education, do things, for yourself, for your family, for your city, for your town, for your village, for your general country, but mainly for the humankind. Okay, so these are all faculties that we are using. So trustees. So the main thing is the stewardship, that we don't, from an Islamic perspective, we just own everything. If you want to make money, we just make money for ourselves. We have to do something with that money. And the main thing that we are finding in the ethical framework is benevolence, the generosity, the rahmah with that we want to share with people. Our Prophet ﷺ has been, the beacon of mercifulness, rahmatul alameen. And he has always been caring for people, sharing with people. So benevolence, the altruism, the love of humanity, promoting the good to others, is very much a characteristic, an attribute of this ethical framework. The third one is the accountability. Now, accountability, as you will see, that we have got, I believe that we've got, I call it a three-dimensional accountability. One is an accountability which is what I call a vertical accountability. And by that, what I mean that we are accountable to our creator. We are accountable after we leave this world to the next world. And if we believe in the next world, then we are accountable that we will be having a day of judgment to be able to see what we have done and what we have just sort of brought forward for the next world. So that's the accountability. The second accountability is what I call the horizontal accountability. And this is our accountability to our fellow human beings, which is basically muamalat, the transactions that we are doing. Each and every day we are transacting. It's also about money. It's also about different things that we are doing. We are making sure that we are doing fairness and justice to everyone. We are not taking away the rights of people. We are not unjustly treating people. So it's all these accountability that is there, and more so in the financial matters. But the main thing is al-maruf, the common good, the khair that we do in terms of our religion. So basically, we want to use this framework to be able to do whatever we are wanting to do. If you're wanting to start a business, this is what we are wanting. If you're doing education and we are adopting a teaching profession, this is what we want to do. If we are doing law, for example, we are offering services for people to get justice and fairness. If we are doing some kind of health programs, we want to help people to do the best we can do for the health, for elderly, for women, for children, for men, all of this. So it's all about the common good. So this is where, when we look at the Islamic finance, this is it. But then we've got also some prohibitions. When we are looking at Islamic finance, we have got the key prohibitions are riba, which is interest. It is prohibited because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the huge, very harsh ayah. I think in the whole of the Quran, this is the most harsh ayah, that if you do not stop giving or taking interest, then be prepared for a war between him as Allah and his prophet and the person who is doing this riba. When I was reading the Quran and when I was trying to understand all these kinds of instruments and limitations and prohibitions, I thought that this is the harshest ayah in the Quran. Allah is everywhere saying that I'll forgive. I'm most merciful. I will forgive everything. But when it comes to riba, then he's saying that be prepared for a war between you and my prophet and myself. Okay. So riba is a big prohibition. Then we've got, the chance or the speculation, which is, gambling, which is all, to do with game of chances, so this is all, alongside riba, this is prohibited. The other prohibition that we've got also is deception or uncertainty. The contracts have to be very clear. I won't go too much into detail because there's a whole bit that we can talk about Islamic finance, but I just wanted to give you an overview of things. And the unethical behavior, of course, it's the agreement that we do, it's the trust that we create, the integrity that we have, because the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned that at the day of judgment, a just and fair business person, an entrepreneur, will be standing with me as close to me as my two fingers. So this is the kind of the level that we are talking about in terms of the entrepreneurship. But then I also want to very quickly share with you the conformance and the performance area. We can keep on doing what we are doing in terms of developing the whole area as far as our deen is concerned, or the principles of Islamic finance are concerned. We are conforming, so we are accountable, we are doing financial reporting, we are doing everything. But that alone is not enough. Conforming to those principles is not enough. We need to make sure that these principles are performing for the humanity as well. They are creating value. They are creating social responsibility for the people who are wanting to share their finances and products and services and everything. So it has to range between the conformance here with the performance. So once it is doing everything, then we are saying that it is meeting the governance continuum. So in short, we are talking about Islamic finance as a proposition which has got inherent in it social justice. It has got inclusion, to include people of various backgrounds, of various privileges and less privileges, and sharing the resources I've already mentioned. So it's basically the value proposition is between the haves and the have-nots. The haves have the responsibility towards the have-nots. And the distinct features are risk and reward and redistribution of wealth, because it's no use accumulating your wealth. It needs to be shared with people, so that this is where we differ from the capitalism or the conventional financial system that we have got in our banks today, generally. Okay, so that's something which is the proposition. Now, keeping in mind, so we have talked about the issue, the landscape, the problem that I said to you. And the second part was that can Islamic finance be the sort of the main platform because of its inherent qualities of social justice and inclusion. So this is where I found that this is something which I developed from a Sadaqaat finance, Sadaqaat community finance point of view. So let me just quickly talk about the Islamic from the Sadaqaat point of view. So what I did was to take all those attributes of the Islamic finance and then develop it into an innovative model for change. So what I basically did was that take the prohibitions, not to take any riba, not to take any, the restrictions, the speculation and chance and all these other things that are prohibited, and bring it to a very pure model or a true model, linking very close to the ethos of Islamic finance. So this is what I did, was to be able to create Sadaqaat community finance, develop an innovative financial model, which I will just explain in a minute, and providing opportunities for the participants to propose new business ideas and bringing a positive change to the society. Now, the basis of this was based on the simple ayah of the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah 276. And this is, Yamhuq Allahul Riba wa yurbi as-sadaqat. So when I was looking at the main area, thinking that, okay, riba is prohibited and all the other parts that we are allowed or we are not allowed, I was thinking to myself that if Allah has prohibited riba and all others, what is the solution? And Alhamdulillah, I came across this ayah. And this ayah actually is the basis of Sadaqaat community finance. And what this means is that when I looked at the financial modeling of this ayah, because I took a couple of years to understand what this means. And what I did was that I did some financial modeling, that what does it mean that Allah reduces or destroys interest and gives increase in the sadaqat? Okay, so when we were doing the financial modeling, we found that whenever we are increasing sadaqat, the interest is going down. Whenever we are decreasing the sadaqat, the interest is coming up. So in a society where a lot of interest is there, that means that more sadaqat needs to be given. But this sadaqat, we normally give a lot of sadaqat. I mean, in the Middle East and Southeast Asia, Far East, even here, the Muslims, all of us, we give the sadaqat. But this sadaqat was not used for or innovated for entrepreneurship. So my model, the Sadaqat community finance model, is based totally on this ayah, so that as soon as we can get the Sadaqat or people to donate and give their Sadaqat to us, I wanted to develop a platform and a financial system which will help us to promote an interest-free and debt-free economy. That is my vision. And this is what I was making a lot of research and doing things. So the biggest link for economic development, as you can see, if I look at OIC, the 53 countries that we are talking about, then look at the poverty level: Africa, Middle East, Southeast Asia, Far East, Europe, Americas, Australia, New Zealand. Look at the poverty level. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. The divide is getting more and more. And access to finance. I mentioned it earlier about the finance inequality that it's creating, because the people who have money, they get more money, and access to finance becomes a huge, huge, huge barrier. And this is the cause of financial and social exclusion and the economic and social inequality that we are seeing. So I wanted to reduce, and this Sadaqat is such a beautiful instrument to be able to bridge this gap together. So what I used this was to be able to develop the process to help these people who are underprivileged to be able to access finance from us. So what is the process that we are doing? Okay, so generally we have community events. And in those community events, just like we are having an event today to create that awareness about ACF, and we are talking to people, we are going to, previously we were going in the community centers and events like these today in different cities and countries. But during pandemic, we did a lot of things digitally. So from there, we recruit people, especially the women who want to start their businesses. So generally, we are recruiting them to our Starting Your Own Enterprise course, which I will show you just towards the end of this presentation. And then once we have trained them, we take them through the financial structure to help them, to give them this money, interest-free and debt-free. But the biggest area that we have been innovating is that we change these beneficiaries of today into benefactors of tomorrow. So we all know that at times we need help. So we help these people firstly to get the skills and training, just fill in the gaps, what they want to have from an entrepreneurship point of view. And then if there is people who are wanting to look at finance, they can develop a business plan, and we help them to develop this business plan. And then we bring them to their financial stage where the committee is taking all this decision to make sure that this finance is given to them. So once this finance is given, the whole eligibility criteria we have changed, the algorithms we have changed to make it no interest, and it is all based on affordability. What we are saying is that when your business starts running, then you also give some of the money back based on affordability as sadaqat. You become a benefactor as well. So you took money as a beneficiary, but we can help you to transform by starting your business to be able to help back the people who are really wanting more help to be done. So we can serve as a wider community. So when we looked at the ayah that I was saying, that it's, yumhuk Allahul riba yurbi sadaqat, that is that it's multiplying, it's snowballing. Okay, so this money that is coming, we again put this in a pot and give it again to people who are coming. So generally, there is a more lots of people who are being transformed from a beneficiary. Now, what this does is that it takes them from the poverty level to come up to a level by which they are financially empowered, and especially the women, because sometimes either they are single moms or they have a household income which they want to complement or increase, and they are wanting to work from home. They have got a talent, they've got a skill, but they don't know how to do that, to increase that. So this is where we can help the people to look at that and transform them from a beneficiary into a benefactor. We are also now in very close to launching a Visa debit card, because that will become a Visa, an account, a business account, so which we'll be doing. Starting your own enterprise course, which I mentioned. Next year, inshallah, towards the end of next year, we are developing an investment opportunity for people who would like to invest on equity basis, on musharaka basis. So when people have got small amount of money, which they would like to invest, rather than keeping it in bank, and some of the people don't want interest, they're putting in the current account. So they don't want anything and the money is doing nothing. So we are developing projects like energy projects, education projects, infrastructure, health projects, all that, which people can put and join it and get some return every month, okay? Which is much, much more better than keeping in the interest. And then we are also establishing an institute for entrepreneurship and social innovation. Our key programs are Women Entrepreneurship Program, which I explained to you, and our Youth Changemakers Award program as well, for young men and women as well. So again, the process is the same. We can help you to develop it, skills, training, finance, and then developing this business together. So what we are seeing is that over the last sort of year, in Cardiff, for example, we had almost like 220 or 30 women who registered on our courses, have gone through the process of developing the business plan and developing their own businesses. And it's ranging, wide ranging, jewelry making, services, beauty services, books for children, some garments and design wear for women, brands, things like that. So there's a huge variety that can do, food as well. So basically our functionality and capability, we've got like an end-to-end program starting from our website. Once you've registered, the whole system is a very much automated system. It is managing finances, the donations. If you want to donate to ACF, the platform is ready for it to look at the donation, impact measurement and reporting, repayment, fund management, investor management. So all those things are there through our website. So it's a complete CRM functional program. Some of our partners, I just wanted to share with you, we have just been recognized by Oxford University Said Business School as one of the key programs in UK. They normally support 20 companies in a year, and they include space companies, medical companies, infrastructure, engineering, medical companies. And Alhamdulillah, ACF this year was one of the companies which they chose for innovation and transformation, because the social and economic inequality that is being created, and especially from a women perspective, we are wanting them to be closely working with us. So we've got a lot of support from there. We are working with the Welsh government, with Innovate UK, Bauzo, some of the, you might be knowing, it's a domestic violence organization. And I was speaking to them, they said, well, how can we participate? Because I said it would be good to help women to start their businesses. So also we've got the citizen advice people, they're working with us, Cardiff University. So these are just a few of these people that we're doing. So just towards the end, I would just like to share one of the quotes, which is from Harvard University. The president, we were having this meeting and we were talking about it, and opportunity and shared prosperity are the hallmarks of any truly just society. So what we are hoping to do is to create that opportunity. And we are also offering a platform for the haves of this world, for the privileged of this world, to share their prosperity with the less privileged people. So this platform is secure, very trustworthy to be able to do that. And it is across UK, as well as now we are doing some programs in Africa, in Southeast Asia, but equally in UK, we are developing. So hopefully there is some programs in Saudi Arabia and the Middle East as well. So inshallah, we will be doing that. But this is, I would like to end. You please visit our website, www.sadaqatcommunityfinance.co.uk. And if you want to become a benefactor, please donate. If you want to become a beneficiary, please sign up for becoming a participant in any of our upcoming courses. And there is a leaflet being circulated, so I can circulate that again. And if you want to be in touch with me, it's just Akmal at sadaqatcommunityfinance.uk. So thank you so much for your time. It was really a privilege to share with you. And I'm handing over back to Huda and for any questions that you may have. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Akmal. It was very informative, and it's unbelievable the way that you bring in Islamic perspective into this initiative. Such a very talented and creative way, mashallah. So may Allah bless you, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring this initiatives to those women who is struggling or wants to start their own businesses, but they don't know exactly what to do, when to do, and how to get it, the support, which is the capital. So mashallah, providing all the facilities that women we need to just work on it. This is the main topic for women, especially Saudis. We are here students and comparing the life expenses to Saudi Arabia. It's very challenging. And I always tell my friends, it's very good to invest your money in the right time. So I think this is the best way to start for those people who want to start their own businesses, but they don't know when to start and what is the idea. Maybe even you want to start your own business, but you don't know which idea or which talented or which creative way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given to you. But I think when you come to Alssadaqaat Community Finance, they will guide you, and that course will set a plan and a strategy and way to just implement all your ideas flying around in a piece of paper that you could just make your dream come true. So I have put a website. So I have put Alssadaqaat website in the chat. Also, I put the form that you would like to join the course. The course is totally free, 6 weeks. It will start from next Wednesday. Dr. Akmal, is it going to be every Wednesday?
Yes, it will be every Wednesday. Generally, the time is 10 to 12 in the morning.
That's great time, yeah.
Yeah. So the reason we chose this time is that a lot of some of the women, they would like to join. They've leaving children at school, so they've got that time is a very good time to be able to spending that, and that's just once a week. And we will help you throughout the program. We've got some very specialist people. Business Wales also is sending people. In fact, I'll share another link with you that there was in Wales Online. The program was mentioned today because NatWest group also found about our program and they wanted to support us.
Wow.
So alhamdulillah, I'll send you, in fact, maybe I can send you the link or I can put it
would
in
you
the
be
chat.
would you be able to put it in the chat if you don't mind?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, that's
I can
great.
just do it now.
So is the Christmas break included in the course?
That's right. I think because we are just doing two sessions on the 15th and on the 22nd.
Okay, so it doesn't sound to be included. And then you're coming back on...
And then 12th of January we'll come back. Yeah. And they're all online, you know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So basically, you know, you could join.
So for example, if someone couldn't join, is that session recorded?
I think the sessions generally are not recorded, but we have some sessions which we can help you to catch up. The reason is some of the times just to have the privacy and confidentiality of people, especially women.
Yeah.
So we thought that because if we can record it, but then where it is shared and all that, you know, so we don't have the control.
That's great.
So generally it is very confidential, you know, because again, we understand like from a cultural point of view and things, people don't want to come up. So, but we are there to help.
That's great.
Yeah. So I just posted the link for today. And so it is in the Business News Wales, the Wales Online today this morning.
Yeah.
So
that's
you
great.
can have a look
and
at
I have a question. So at the end of the program, do you provide like a certificate of? Yes. That's great.
There is a certificate, and for people, so we do expect that you can make a business plan, but some of the women, you know, they want to go back and think about the plan, then they come back. So which is fine as long as you have attended the course, you've got the certificate, you've got everything. So after a month, 2 months, 3 months, you want to come back with a business plan, you know, you won't have to go through the training. You can come straight directly into this finance committee, you know, application site.
That's great.
That will be taken forward.
That's great. Thank you for that.
And we've got some mentoring services as well. Yeah.
Wonderful. So I have Arwa Al-Mubaddal. She's raising her hands. The floor is yours, Arwa.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Huda, for organizing and arranging this. I haven't heard about this before, although being in Cardiff for 3 years now. And thank you, Dr. Akmal. Jazakumullah khair for offering this kind of model for those of us who don't want to engage with riba and interest and so on. I just had a question about our situation as international students. So most of us here are on tier 4 visas, and we have like restrictions when it comes to work hours and also starting up a business. So does the organization provide consultations or support in terms of, you know, discovering options for work and visa support or immigration support?
Yeah, it's a very good point, Ava. Thank you so much for raising it. We have had this question asked a few times, and what I've also done is to be speaking with the Cardiff University career departments, the careers. And we are trying to develop a better understanding of what, because the Home Office has changed quite a lot of rules, even for the tier 4. So sometimes nowadays they do allow for work experience and things like that. And also then if there is a business that is doing well, and if there is further investment that is required, because of my link with the Welsh government as well, I'm hoping that we can develop some inward investments and helping people like yourselves to be able to start some of the businesses. But if I need to be very clear about the consultancy one, there is 1 or 2 organizations who have offered us to support the visa issues. But I think I can take this point back and discuss it with them, but maybe either through Huda or your email, we can always come back to you and see that what are the options in terms of getting there. But during your stay, there is no restriction, as far as I understand, in terms of how much, because if you're wanting to start a business and you are legal here, you're doing things here, so you can start a business. But it is after your studies, whether we can convert that visa into a business visa. That's the key question that I've been working on. So I will get back to you on that. If you give me just a few weeks, I'm sure we have been working it, but I'll come back with the latest update from you.
That's great. Thank you so much, Dr. Akmal. Thank you, Arwa, for raising the questions. So we have another one. Nar, would you like to say anything? It's the floor for you. Nar or Noura, I guess. Are you with us? Okay, coming back to the questions from Arwa. So from understanding that as students, we are allowed to work 20 hours per week, which is we are not allowed to exceed that 20 hours per week because we have to balance between a study plus the work. And so just a quick questions, Dr. Akmal. This program is everyone in the world. It doesn't have to be only people who is in the UK, isn't it?
No, generally, at the moment, obviously we are concentrating on UK, but it is anywhere. It can be if we are wanting to do something, let's say in Saudi Arabia, but obviously we will need someone like yourself or someone who's there to be able to look after a few things, as far as the sort of the fundraising, the distribution and everything, the platform we've got, we can do from here. That's not an issue. But we will be requiring some kind of presence there.
That's great. Thank you.
Or a partnership, through a university or an organization or whatever it is.
Amazing.
So that's something what we are doing, yeah.
Okay, so we have Ashwag here. The floor is yours. Ashwag, are you with us? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hello everyone. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor, for this initiative. It's really amazing, and every woman in this earth need like this support. Right now, I'm working on my PhD on the same subject in women entrepreneurship in Saudi Arabia. And as you said, there is lots of challenges like gender gap, like financing, culture, lots of things we faced. Yeah. Now, when I'm talking about my business, I have idea of business and everything related of business is ready, but the problem is with the restrictions of the Tier 4. So I want to start, but the problem is I'm afraid. I don't know what I have to do, if there's insurance or something like that. The 24 hours is just for working like an employee, not like a business or a private business for you. So what is your suggestion for that? What I have to do? Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's again a very good question, just as Arwa asked about it. I think it is something which I need to go back to my immigration consultants, or to be able to see what we can do and how this can be overcome, this barrier. So again, I would say that, like Arwa, I will come back to you, and if there is the business idea that is you would like to establish here, because previously in my experience, a lot of the people, they have established some business here, and then they went back to their country like Malaysia or Saudi Arabia or Egypt or Pakistan or something. But then this business link is still there. There's a UK office here, and then there is a main business there, so that can be also done. But again, immigration, so that we just comply with the regulation and the law, so that nobody gets into any wrong interpretation or misinterpretation, and we are following the law. I think I will need to come back to you with a specific area, and I'll raise this up more quicker than, because we have been working on it, but it hasn't been asked again. So we were a little bit, relaxed about it. But now with this, I will just pick up this item as an action point for myself and come back to you with a very clear-cut area of what we can do. Yeah,
that's great. Thank you so much, Ashwaq, for raising these questions. It's very important. And as I said, just from my side, why not to join the program? It's 6 weeks for free with you still, as you heard, you say that you're still afraid and not sure what to do and what to do. So I believe from experiments, peoples, they will give you an overview or as some suggestion or recommendations to just guide you to your right path.
Absolutely. So, I think, you see, this skill is for life skill, I mean, it's something which will go with you, whether, you immediately start here in UK or you go back to your country and start something there, and it's so good to know that you're studying entrepreneurship and all these challenges. And so what I would suggest is that you do join in and see what you can think about, maybe work out a business plan and all that, which would be fine. So it's like 2 hours a week and then a little bit of areas that you can learn. And then once we come to that from an established point of view, we're establishing a business, then I will put you through to one of our key consultancies so that we can work this out alongside the university so that we cover all bases. But it's a life skill,
Indeed,
indeed,
I
agree. It will be a life skill, yeah.
And as you mentioned, Professor Akmal, that is whether you have an idea and you'd like to do it, so you could start it here and take the businesses back to the hometown or the Saudi Arabia or anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah,
that's wonderful. So we run out of the time, but we'll give 5 more minutes. So if you have any questions or any like concerning about the link that I just shared now again in the chat, if you have any difficulties to type anything or to fill the application, please let us know. We have Najud. Najud, the floor is yours if you'd like to add anything.
Hi, thank you for this Zoom meeting. I'd like to ask about something. Is that program limited to a student studying at in Cardiff? I mean, at the university in Cardiff, or is it possible for a student like me who study in Manchester can join that program?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not limited to only Cardiff. We are national.
And the other question, which is really important for me in this stage, I'm concerned about how can I build my team, and the thing I'm struggling with is the business plan about my business. So does that program is going to help me with this side, or more than that?
Absolutely. Once you are working on your business idea and you're working on the business plan, it will identify a number of things for you. And then we've got a support network of business specialists and mentoring people to help you to develop a team, maybe create employment, get specialist help, depending on where you are. So all those things are there. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this course is starting on the 15th. So, I mean, if you want to join in and just have a register in and see, about your business plan, because each of you, we generally have 22 people. So each of you have got this opportunity to work on your own business plan. Of course, there are generic areas like what you want to do as team building, or what do you want to do as competition or marketing strategy, or developing product. It could be a specialist product which needs a little bit of more licensing or training or compliance. So we will help you with all of that. There's a lots of help that we can offer your way. And that's what I'm trying to say, that we are trying to build this network for you by which you don't have to go individually every places. But if you want financial help, you want to make up a financial plan, a business plan, a strategy plan, looking at all those areas, and maybe also to polish your business idea. Maybe there are other aspects that you have not thought about, and maybe we can help you to think about that as well.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for answering that questions. And we have 1 more minute. If you have any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, we'll end to this point. And just to remind you, the course will start next Wednesday, 15th of December, from 10 o'clock in the morning till 12. It's going to be every week. You will have a break after 26th of December, isn't it? Till
after 22nd of December, yes,
that's
right.
22nd
Till
December.
12th of January.
Yeah. Do you have any questions so far? Are you able to sign in the link to join the program? Okay, that's great. Okay, so we'll end up this session today. I would like to warm welcome and thank you so much, Dr. Akmal, for joining us today. I really appreciate your valuable time. It was being really, really informative. I enjoyed myself, and I believe my friends as well does that, and all the people who attend with us today. So to just end up the meeting, I would like to say an advice or a quote that's saying, do everything that you are interested in. It's never too late to start. I wish you all the best, and hopefully we can meeting you again with more activities and initiatives that's supporting students, especially Saudi society. Just keep in touch with us in the saudisociety.co and for more activities and initiatives. Thank you again, Dr. Akmal, for being here today, and hopefully we can do more with you and more programs during this year.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Hudan. Thank you, everyone. I just wanted you to go on our social media as well, and Facebook or Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter. And if there's things that you can just tag or post, I think it will be great. And also any volunteers or any people who are wanting to donate, please go to our website and also register for the program next week. So thank you so much for the opportunity. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be able to share. And I'm so glad that we are amongst our own people who are thinking the same way. So it is like-mindedness which will, inshallah, take this project as a mainstream. So do keep praying for me and this project. And thank you so much for coming. And Huda, thank you so much for the opportunity. May Allah bless you all.
Yeah, you too. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum.